Hi, I'm Caroline from The Upcoming. Thank you so much for speaking to me and congratulations on the film, which is of course Babyteeth.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the film? Just a bit of an overview of what it's about.
Babyteeth is a family drama about addiction, and it's very much about people who are dealing with a very difficult situation and they are navigating that very differently, and everyone's self-medicating in some way. Yeah.
It was a play to start with, wasn't it?
Yes.
So what made you want to transition that into film?
So I wasn't part of the decision to transition it. It was written by Rita Carnier and it was a play done at Belvoir Street Theatre in Sydney. Mm-hmm. And then Jan Chapman, our EP, and Alex White saw it and they ran up to each other in the foyer and said, this has got to be our next film. And they knew that they wanted Rita to do the adaptation. And so for about 7 years, they were all developing it and workshopping it and turning it into the script that it was when it arrived to me. And it was already in incredible shape. So,
brilliant.
Yeah, that was quite
that's quite helpful.
Kind of easy for me.
Yeah. So what challenges do you find in directing the film?
I have to say, other than the logistics of shooting in the middle of the hottest time in the summer in Sydney and the kind of noises that we get in Australia at that time of year, we get very loud cicadas and birds and lawnmowers because everyone for some reason mows their lawn in summer. It's very difficult to stop that, and so there were elements like that were quite frustrating. But in terms of actually shooting the film and realising it seemed actually quite, because the source material is so brilliant, so it wasn't that hard.
Were there challenges in getting backing for it? Although it's a good script, were there challenges?
Look, I do know, I wasn't involved in the funding process, but when I know that it was, because it's the kind of film that when you try to describe it, it just doesn't do justice to what it is, and that's always tricky when you're trying to get it funded. Yeah.
So what are you hoping the audience is going to take away when they see the film?
I don't ever really think like that, because I think if you end game how you want everyone to feel when they leave, it's a bit too prescriptive, I guess. So I like to try and hope that I've taken them on a journey, and I think everyone will, in some ways respond differently.
How have you found finding its audience in London?
Look, I saw the first screening last week, and it was the first time we had done it with an English-speaking audience. And so, predominantly, it didn't need to have subtitles. And so what I loved there were moments where laughter came that I hadn't heard yet, which I loved. For example, at Moses' house, his mum has Bichon award ribbons hanging down and they say best bitch on them, and I've always thought that was really funny. But I heard people laughing here, but I hadn't heard that in Venice, so that was exciting for me.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's the kind of thing you don't think about that doesn't translate, I guess.
No.
So what can fans expect from Killing Eve?
Oh, I signed contracts, so I can't tell you. There's no way I can give away anything because I'll get sued. So
you can't.
No,
you can't talk to us about it at all. So how did it come about? How did the approach come about for Killing Eve?
The producers saw Babyteeth and called me, and we had some meetings. I was in Australia and they were in London, and we did some Skypes, and then I got the job.
That's quite a quick process. They must have been quite pleased then, yeah.
Yeah, and I think as well, always it's about how you respond to their material, and I think in those conversations whether you've got the same sensibilities. And with Killing Eve, just like Babyteeth, it's got a very unusual tone, interesting mix of comedy and sort of intense subject matter, and so you have to kind of make it very clear that you understand that.
So was there a challenge then in coming to it, as it's kind of a work in progress already, isn't it, rather than you're coming to the start of a film and seeing it through from beginning, middle, and end, that's already set out for you. Yeah.
Look, I mean, there are always challenges when you're slipping into a show that's already stylistically set up. But there's always exciting things because you're always casting new people usually, or finding a few new locations, particularly with Killing Eve. They're always going somewhere, exciting. But yes, yeah, it is, because ideally, if you are more of an auteur thinker, you do like the idea of setting it all up yourself or doing it all. But there is also something great and challenging about thinking how you're going to make your eps as strong as they can be. So I do like that challenge as well.
So when are you starting work on it, and when will it actually be out?
I'm in pre-production now,
Okay.
and I start shooting my block in a week.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for talking to me.
No problem.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.